What's good, room service gang? Hey, the Lake Show, baby. We up 3-1. Of course, we got a lot to talk about, so let's jump right into it. First, let's talk about some of these adjustments that have been made in this series. So, the Warriors have had at least about three different starting lineups at this point. I mean, we've seen Kevon Looney have 23 rebound games in an L. We've seen Jermichael Green come in and start hitting threes and everything when they got back home as well. Like, let me see, game two I think that was Jermichael Green game where they made all the adjustments and they just destroyed us. So that was that. But then we got back home and all of a sudden we see Gary Payton the second starting last night. And we all know what that is mainly for. That's for D'Angelo Russell. Now, D'Angelo Russell has been getting into a little bit of a groove. He was hitting shots, he was aggressive. And the way our team works, we're riding that hot hand, regardless. And we'll get more into that later, too. But yes, D'Lo did not have a great game once GP2 got out there. Not at all, actually. That man shot 1 for 9. That's not good. 0 for 3 from 3. Not going to cut it. So we'll see what adjustments are going to be made to probably help D'Lo get going a little bit more because it's clear that we need him. I mean, that game, we only had 104 points. The Warriors only had 101. So it wasn't a great game. It was like the vibe of that game was just so off. It was weird. It just was one of those struggle games. I felt like the game was going to be close. But from the flow of how everything goes, it just felt weird. I don't know if you really understand what I'm saying, but if you watch that game, you would understand. I mean, both teams were broke. They couldn't hit nothing. I mean, I think Steph was like, even though he had an amazing game, just to even see like that triple double, even though he had an amazing game, his shooting wasn't that good from three. He was like 3 for 14. Then Clay was 3 for 9. That's not going to cut it at all. So what I saw from that Warrior game was Steph carrying them 100% on his back. I mean, even to the people that were cutting and that was open, Steph was diming them and seeing them. I mean, he had about 14, 15 assists. This was a different side of Steph. Usually Steph just goes off. He can go for 40, 50 out of nowhere. You know what I'm saying? Because it's Steph. And when he does it, it's still amazing, but we expect it. But yesterday, oh, no. It wasn't just that. He was doing a lot more. His IQ was through the roof. Like he like ascended to a different level. It's like I've always had the utmost respect for Steph, but that just rose somehow to a different level because he changed his game to keep his team in the game when they were not having a good shooting performance. They weren't playing well. If Clay doesn't have anything but 9 points and Jordan Poole is 0, Jermichael Green 0, Kevon Looney has been like X'd out the lineup because they've chosen to go smaller. So only had 3 rebounds. But as a team, the Warriors are actually rebounding a lot better, which is odd, but they're smaller, so they're getting into the places that they need to get to. But Darvin Ham, though, let's talk about his adjustments. We've seen what the Warriors did, but this man had Jared Vanderbilt on Steph at first in prior games. Then all of a sudden, we start seeing Austin Reeves is on Steph just to combat with that pick and roll. So when Steph would get Austin Reeves screened and he would come over, bam, there's Jared Vanderbilt. So then there was another adjustment made by Steve Kerr. Now, since GP2 is starting, he's not really that much of a three-point threat or a shooting threat, even a scoring threat that much as it is. Anthony Davis can take his chances and just sit back, watch what's going on, and just, hey, if GP2 going to be hitting and that's how we lose, and then so be it. But he can't do that if GP2 is setting the screen. Now, all of a sudden, it's him against Steph. That doesn't seem like a favorable matchup, but we all saw how the game ended. Anthony Davis is a defensive player no matter what. I just couldn't believe what I saw at the end of that game. But anyway, let's get back to it. So he made the Warriors made that adjustment. And at first, Anthony Davis was dropping back, which is allowing whoever was the screener the guy with the ball, he can pick and choose whatever he wants to do. He can make a good pass, he can drive to the cup, pull up for a mid-range, shoot the three, anything. So we had to adjust and step up some more. We did that, but it seemed like the Warriors were still scoring pretty easily in that second and third quarter. Like they had 31 and I think 32 points in both of those quarters just to get to the fourth and only have 17. Because as we know, it seemed like points were tough to get by. They were tough to get in that game. Definitely. But what's really going on with Jordan Poole now? I just got to go off on this for a second. Like, what's really going on with him? Like, as my cousin Dub would say, Jordan Poole is looking more like Jordan Puddle, and he is. He's. I hope he never shows up. Hope he never shows up because we don't need none of that. He showed up in the game one, but they still lost. And then Steph has a triple double, and they still lost. Kevon Looney matches AD with 23 rebounds in game one, and they still lost. You know what I'm saying? Like all these punches and haymakers that the Warriors are throwing. Because Andrew Wiggins was playing pretty consistent. Yesterday, he really wasn't the greatest. You know what I'm saying? I think our defense is going to be there consistently. So a lot of people have us winning in 6. I'm going to go ahead and stick with my assumption and say that because we are going back to Oracle. Oh, Oracle, look, see, I've been out here for a minute. No, Chase Center, even though Oracle was cracking. But anyway, Chase Center. And the Warriors have one of the best records there. So if they were to win this game, I wouldn't be too surprised. But if I was the Lakers, I know it's easier said than done. That was a really, really hard and tough fought game. But they're aware. LeBron in the post game is aware. He said it. He said they're going to come out here and try to blow us out the gym. And that's not what we need. We need the Warriors to keep playing like kind of how they were playing. More so like that first and that fourth quarter. Not the second and third so much. But let's move on to Anthony Davis, just in general. Let's just talk about him real quick. So AD, there's so many plays that he makes out there that aren't charted for, that you won't find stats for. He affects the game in so many different ways. His length alone, IQ, the man is definitely basketball smart. For him to guard Steph that the way he did for that final possession, he had to guard him 2 different times, basically 2 possessions. He gave up nothing. Could Steph have hit them shots? Of course. But from a 7-foot big man, that was great defense. He even knocked the ball out of Steph's hand while he was dribbling one time. His instincts are top tier. So I just got to give Anthony Davis just a shout out on that. Like we know what his stats and his numbers are and all that, but it's the other things that he does. The way he's contesting shots, he's changing people's shot at the rim. Things they don't practice, things they're not ready for, things they're not used to. Those things matter. Those things lead to missed shots. The Warriors didn't shoot good yesterday or the game before that. So I'm just saying they have to shoot good to win. Simple as that. The Lakers have proven that we haven't been a 3-point team this whole season. But yet here we are in this up 3-1 on our about 1 game away from the Western Conference Finals. Anybody have guessed that when we started this season off with Russell Westbrook and that team? No one. We was just hoping to have an identity, have something going that we can have a flow where we can understand what kind of team we are so we can know how to get better. Well, we made that move, and now look at us. Laker Nation, we should be proud right now. No matter how ugly the games are, no matter how they look, we still got the W. And I don't care about none of that extra stuff. These Warrior fans is talking, all this crying. Speaking of crying, let's get to it before I get to my boy Lonnie Walker. We're going to get to him. Don't even trust me. But let's talk about these free throws real quick. All right. So, the Lakers, man, the best team in the league at getting to the free throw line. And pretty close, if not number 2, maybe 0.1 off at defending without fouling. That means we're not going to foul you often, and we're going to get to the free throw line. Now let's look at the Warriors. Warriors, not the worst free throw shooting team, but they don't get to the line often. They get to the line the least amount in the whole league. So what does that say? They shoot a bunch of jumpers. So there's going to be a free throw discrepancy. And on top of that, they're like 8th worst in the league for defending without fouling. All they do was hack, foul, foul, foul. That's what they do. Now, of course, there's some plays where it could have went one way or could have went another. But for the majority, we're going to be at the free throw line because we aren't the greatest shooting team. We're going to use our strengths, which is going to the paint. Don't the Warriors use their strength, which is shooting? Yes, that's what they do. And everybody's marveling at it. But when we go to the paint and it's not as pretty and we go in there getting easy buckets, getting fouled, shooting 20 more free throws in them a game, then, hey, a win is a win. And if that's where we're at and you can't stop it, then it is what it is. Like, it's not like they're not trying. Steve Kerr is definitely trying. Hence the starting lineups that he's had. He's had a different one, Dana, almost every game. So he's giving it his all, but we keep making more adjustments. So I have to give Darvin Ham some more credit because he's making in-game adjustments. And usually he doesn't do that until the next game. But adjustments are still being made. And I'm sure they understand where they're lacking, you know. But then Lonnie Walker came into the game. My man's had 15 points in the fourth quarter. The Warriors only scored 17 points in the fourth quarter themselves. And what was crazy about that was I saw a good stat, which was, I think it was 26 years ago to the day, May 8th, Kobe was the only other person to score that many points in the fourth quarter. Kobe had 17, and it was his rookie year against the Utah Jazz. In the playoffs, yeah, I remember getting in the shower after that game in tears because my newly acclaimed favorite player had just shot a bunch of air balls, and we lost that series, and our season was over. I was very sad. But, hey, we all know what he turned into. He needed that moment. And I think he played with that chip on his shoulder his whole entire career. So RIP Kobe. We love you. We miss you. So yeah, back to Lonnie Walker, man. That's crazy. He came out here ready to go. So he came in game 2, right? He wasn't really getting no burn this series. Came in game 2, garbage time. We're getting smacked, down by 30. Lonnie Walker comes in, puts up like 9 points, impressive fashion. His jumper always looks pretty. Bottom of the net. Every time. Love it. Okay. Coach is paying attention though. So that lets you know. Even if it's garbage time, it ain't really no such thing. Unless you garbage yourself. Lonnie's not that. He showed even in garbage time that I'm going to go hard. And I'm going to show my worth. Now, he had some setbacks with injuries and the new trades and everything that kind of pushed him out the lineup. He wasn't playing to the best of his ability. But I was one person to say in the beginning of the season that Lonnie Walker is raw. I said that man can get buckets, he can score, and he's going to be a vital part to our team if we use him correctly. I'm on record saying this. And, of course, he comes through in a very, very pivotal game because I truly believe if we had lost that game, going back to the Chase Center with a 2-2, we've now lost home court advantage and all that. That just doesn't seem like a situation I need to be in. That's depressing. I don't want to be in that, especially knowing that man, Steph Curry over there, is tough to get rid of, to beat in a series, the greatest shooter of all time. As a matter of fact, I don't think it's been done since the Clippers did when it was young Warriors. I don't think they've lost a series. So this is monumental. Yeah, we're up 3-1. Of course they lost in the finals to LeBron, but I'm talking about just the playoffs just right now. They don't lose series. But LeBron is the only person that can take Steph down. It seems to be that way, and it seems to go the other way as well. It seems to be Steph is the one that can knock LeBron down. Now, of course, Steph will want his revenge. LeBron did come back on them from 3-1 when he was in Cleveland. His second stint in Cleveland. They came back from the Warriors and Warriors was up 3-1. LeBron, Kyrie, and them got it together. Bang, bang, bang. Boom. Came back and won championship. We all know how that happened. The series prior to, the Warriors were down 3-1, and that was the KD in them with the Thunder, but they came back. So we don't need no repeat of that. We not the Thunder. We for sure ain't the Kings. Let's finish this. If we knock it out, then y'all can get all the rest y'all need. The old man Brian needs his rest. He be tired every game, like exhausted. Go as hard as y'all can. Finish this tomorrow so y'all can get y'all rest. Because the other series is 2-2 right now. That could go 7. We can all see that series going 7 between the Suns and the Nuggets. So let's get this W. Let's continue to use Lonnie Walker. He is a score-first guard. He's been out there busting his behind on defense, which is not his strong suit, which is most likely why he wasn't in the game, because we need defense. We're a defensive team. But the Warriors are fast, and we need faster guards out there that can keep up with some youth, with some athleticism and hands just in places, just causing disruption. And that's what he's been doing. On top of that, he's been shooting. Score first, he's been shooting, didn't matter. Saw Steph on him, didn't matter. Steph jumped and contested it perfectly. They near hit his hand as he was releasing. Didn't matter. Lonnie Walker is a certified bucket. He will get you buckets. And I think he should continue to be in the lineup, in the rotation, and let's keep this thing moving. Let's keep this ship moving, because we have to. We got to finish this right now. I'm always on edge when we have to face Steph. Please, let's just knock him out so we can move on and everybody can just breathe, because it's too much. Every time that ball fly out his hand, I'm like, here we go. Here we go. But it's cool. But I appreciate you, Lonnie Walker, for everything that you did. You went from game 2 coming in garbage time to game 3 playing about 24 minutes. And I think you put up 12 points that time. Like, I know he was blowing the Warriors out and he played the whole fourth quarter, but still, even so, you still played a whole bunch that game. And then you come out in game 4 and you're a hero. Appreciate you for putting the cape on, my guy. Let's go out here and get this W tomorrow. Holla at y'all in the next one.